Deputy Commissioner of Police Abba Kyari is currently cooling off his heels at the facility of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency in Abuja, where he spent his first night on Monday. The suspended Super Cop was arrested alongside 4 other suspects on Monday after he was declared wanted by the NDLEA. Abba Kyari and four others were arrested over their involvement in a 25 kilograms cocaine deal. Let's talk this through with UK solicitor Olufemi Aina. Thank you so much for joining us on TBC Breakfast.
Thank you for having me.
Well, the hulabalu, the palaver, or whichever word people describe it as, is still on Abba Kyari, hitting the newspaper headlines here and there. But we've talked about so many indicators. But then, what is the legal implication to this?
Well, the legal implication is very simple. And this is a testimony that this will be the final nail in the coffin for Abba Kyari and his likes. Let's put it that way. But leaving that aside, this is a testimony that Nigeria has this defective way of dealing with issues. And the system needs to be effective to be respected. And the greatest enemy of justice is delay. This Abba Kyari issue has been going on as far back as July or April last year. And up to now, he's still in the country. We were told that he was suspended by the Inspector General of Police. Now, what happened yesterday is evidence that he was not suspended. What actually happened was a paper suspension. If you suspend people, normally, I've seen a lot of suspension letters here and there. You put it there. You must not make contact with the office. You must not make contact with any of your colleagues while on suspension. And if you read the press statement from the NDLEA, it is quite obvious that this guy was not suspended because he initiated the contact with the NDLEA officers. At the same time, he's the one who said that my men arrested a drug courier, and the negotiation and what have you started from there. Now, what sort of suspension did you call that? And the bulk of what happened here stopped with the Inspector General of Police. You need to take some responsibility for whatever happened under your watch. You are the one who told Nigeria that you have suspended him. You are the one who set up a panel to investigate him. At the same time, now reports have been moving from pillar to post up to the Attorney General. The Attorney General said, look, there is the need for further investigation. Thereafter, he said that, look, we have a prima facie case against him. There is the room for suspicion and what have you. How comes it dragged so long? And why on suspension? We now have evidence, the man trying to tamper with exhibits here and there. Now, you see, it doesn't happen. If you will know, as I do, that just last week, the Commissioner of Police in the UK just resigned, just because of her failure to deal with some errant officers. And she took responsibility for all the criticism. So what I'm saying is that the IG, we need to reconsider his own position too. And this is not a case where we need to get into a power grip. Because if the law, people who are supposed to protect us, if they are so corrupt as we have been told, then all of us are in need for it. And the other point is that, you see, misuse of police power is a very, very serious offense, taking account of the public trust aspect of it. Even where I've been and where I come from, misuse of police power attracts life imprisonment. It's not negotiable. And officers have been dealt with severely because of the need because of the public trust aspect of it. Now, how did we get to this stage? And I hope, it is my hope, and hope of other Nigerians, that we need to get rid of this guy. Either they should dismiss him from the police force immediately. Number one, he has no integrity from what has happened. You see, when the state accuses you of an offense, what the state is saying technically in law, is to say you are not a man of good character. That's why even if your lawyer is applying for bail, you cannot stand up and say, oh, he's a man of good character, but because the state has already challenged your character. Now, Abba Kyari, whatever happens in the long run, he has no integrity. And it's not right for him to put on that police uniform. And somebody needs to take responsibility for it.
So, in a nutshell, you're seeing this as an indictment on the police, as an institution, or not being able to properly investigate one of their own because of this papering
you
over this issue.
You see, you have to be very careful. You don't even investigate your own. You see, if you want...
Well, because people tend to see them as, no, they should be able to carry out proper investigation. Setting up panel. That's one of the reasons why
if you take my point that, okay, you expect them to be able to carry out proper investigation. Yes, that is fine. But now, the investigation has come out to be a shoddy investigation, because that's why the Attorney General said, look, send it back, this and that, and what have you. And again, you need to look at it that, look, this is an officer who has been in the force for a number of years. This is an officer who has received award here and there. Definitely, they will know each other. And what you need to do in such a situation is to get an independent person or panel to carry out that investigation. Because by so doing, what you are saying is that there's the need for transparency. And now, the man has even shown, you see, the fact that he was even involved in this NDLEA saga, what have you, is a testimony that something tells him that nothing is going to happen. This is somebody, there's a warrant of arrest issued by an authority of another country. Now, how come up till now we are here to extradite him? And because we are here to extradite him, now is involved in another crime again. It is a terrible situation, and it doesn't portray Nigeria in good light.
We had a discussion earlier on during the newspaper review. Someone said that one of the guests said that some are trumping up excuses that it's just a way of trying to deflect from the real issue so that he will not be extradited. So as to say, well, he will be tried here. So I'm not trying to ask you, I'm willing to ask you, asking you that, how will this affect his possible extradition?
And that is the difficulty now. That is the serious difficulty. Because, okay, let's just get hypothetical here. If the NDLEA charge him to court, which will probably happen, then you cannot extradite because he needs to finish that. You need to finish the prosecution, which will be ongoing in Nigeria. Now, that will cause another problem. And you know the Nigerian legal system, the delay and what have you, then that will take a number of years. Now, that's the problem. So the best bet is this. If Abba Kyari is innocent, I'm talking about the first case now, let's forget the drug one. If he's innocent, why is he still in Nigeria? He's supposed to jump in the plane and go there and clear himself. And now, the point is this, why all this dog can dive? That's what you should not expect from an innocent man. If an innocent man receives a letter from the police that they are looking for him, the first thing is that if you are innocent, you go and report yourself at the police station. And I must say this to you, that even if they said is the kingpin among the cartel, and from Brazil to Ethiopia to Nigeria, it may well be in the long run, there will be a warrant of arrest from Brazil, there will be a warrant of arrest from Ethiopia, and now under international law, the crime, the country where the crime was committed will go first, in which case they have to try him in Nigeria. So I think the best way forward in this scenario is that either the NDLEA, we need to decide one way or the other with the Attorney General whether they want to charge him to court or they should just put him in the next available flight to America to go and clear himself.
Well, the police, fired back at the NDLEA saying that it's a setup, that it means that some members of some officials or officers of the NDLEA are also complicit.
Yes, but if you listen to the press briefing yesterday, they said, look, they will go to wherever the evidence lead them to. In summary, that's what. And if you look at the genesis of the whole episode. These are couriers who have been passing that through airport, and the courier said, look, they will send their boarding pass in advance so that they can easily walk through without any security check. So no doubt there are some NDLEA officer. But the point is this: there's no need for all those power game. The NDLEA officers will eventually be arrested. Evidence will probably come to light as the investigation goes on, in which case that can lead you to others as well. But the fundamental is this: let's leave the courier, let's target the baron. And in most of these drug cases, you don't see the barons because they are hidden somewhere. They just go to hotel, they go to during the school season where they know parents will be struggling to pay their children's school fees. They will try and recruit them and say, look, can you take this envelope to UK? Can you take it to Canada or what have you? But the baron, you hardly see them. But once they have a problem, sometimes they just had a background paying the legal fee, getting lawyers and what have you. But the fundamental is that once you now have a police officer in position of Abba Kyari standing, involved in drug running, it is a serious threat. And it is very important and vital that we must see this to an end. And the best way forward is that, one, it needs to be dismissed. And why the police are dragging their foot to dismiss someone? Because if you look at their press statement yesterday, they said it was involved in misconduct, it was involved in evidence tampering and what have you. So with that, there is no need, we don't need any panel. Just give him the dismissal letter and let him go, because you've carried out a desktop investigation already.
But Barrister, have you stopped, and thought for a while, questioning yourself, trying to do some sort of, rumination about the super cop, the well-decorated Abba Kyari, and all of the gains he has recorded for the police and of course the country, that everyone was so proud of him, that some of the gains that he had recorded, does it mean that he must have done some things on the ground that we don't know of, or those that are coming out that we praised him for? Maybe something is amiss somewhere, that there has to be a reinvestigation into some of his achievements.
No, it's not even a super cop with what we have now. And I must say this to you, it's as guilty as hell. There is no doubt about that. That's why he didn't want to go to America. And I must say this to you, normally, where I've been and where I come from, in this sort of situation, there'll be a panel that will investigate all cases handled by this super invited comma, in the sense that it may well be something has happened. Because, and don't forget, some of them are still facing trial. You cannot bring Abba Kyari to come and give evidence against them, because his credibility is all over the place. In which case, that will even have an effect. But whether he has achieved this, he has achieved that, those are tainted now with all these allegations against him. And the idea behind it is that this guy should be dismissed from the force. That's the way. And when you want to talk about his dismissal, I don't know why they are procrastinating, and that is the disturbing aspect. Number one, if you look at the police press statement yesterday, they said they've carried out an investigation, they arrested him, handed him over to the NDLEA.
Like a normal suspect.
So that is like a normal suspect, that's fine. But with that, you cannot start your own internal proceedings to get him, to discipline him. And when you are doing that, the standard you are going to apply is on balance of probabilities. Do we have things to go by? And once it is an act of gross misconduct for a police officer tampering with evidence, for a police officer offering $61,000 or more in order to get all these drug dealers out of whatever their predicament, those are, you don't need to go far. You've established the ground for dismissal. Why they don't want to dismiss him? Even the other case in the Hush Puppy saga. Look, I don't even know what, honestly speaking, this man applied to America for a visa. He in his application for the visa, he put a telephone number there as his telephone number. It is the same telephone number that he's been using to communicate with Hush Puppy about arresting someone and what have you. I don't want to go through that again. But the fundamental here is that he has a case to answer, and that is why it's done. And because we didn't deal with him or extradite him or move in a very punctilious way, that's why he has the opportunity to get involved in this drug.
I'm afraid we're out of time, because all other lawyers too who reacted to this issue had already said that they're recommending quick justice, quick investigation, and also administration of justice on this matter. Well, thank you very kindly, UK Solicitor Olufemi Aina. Thank you so much for your insights.
Yes, thank you.